NIH funding has played an important role in early-stage biotech innovation. In this section, Todd and I discuss the recent NIH cuts and their potential long-term impact.
Western law, Europe, the US, Australia, Japan's good. That's where we will can rely upon our returns. And so that's a really important underpinning that we need to solve some problems in. And now's the time to do it because we are still the big consumers.
Right. The longer you wait, the harder it'll be.
Yeah.
One of the wrenches in the system might be the cut to NIH funding. And, I'm sure we've all seen, the articles on some of the innovative things that have been funded through NIH funding. And, one thing as an investor that, you and I probably know is that there isn't a lot of public investment in preclinical research. It's just, there's for 1,000 programs, maybe one or two, make it into the clinic, or maybe it's a little bit higher than that, but maybe one or two make it to approval. So, it's a pretty hard area to, come up with an investment profile for, because it's such a low percentage of success. And, with the cut of that, does that affect the United States long-term, competitiveness in the life sciences space, or does it get filled in with private investment? Do, the big biopharmas come in and build up their teams to do some of that early research? And what happens here? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I think this is a blip in time. I think for good reason. I mean, it's hard to argue that the government as a capital allocator is doing a great job. And so the current administration is just putting a pause, say, hold up, we really suck at capital allocation. We're going to kind of change things up. It's not business as usual. That doesn't mean they're going to defund NIH. I know it's highly disruptive and probably stressful right now if you've got a big grant that's been put on pause. So not good. And the NIH is a very important part of the ecosystem. They're doing, the really early broad research that you can't get paid for in a commercial biotech startup.
Right, exactly.
And by the way, the DoD does some of that too. A lot of our innovation,
BARDA, things like that, exactly,
in this country comes out of the DoD, early innovation and repurposing military technology and innovation. So we do really need and rely upon this, but I'm confident that the faucets will be turned on, hopefully in a timely manner. I think this whole DOGE effort, there'll probably be some follow-on effort, but the initial DOGE thrust is like 130 days, I think. And they are trying to make improvements to the system. Like, just for example, I know that one of their objectives, as disruptive as this and scary as this might seem right now, is the splits. So if you fund research at Harvard, for example, 70% of that grant goes to the lab, 30% goes to the institution. Now, I think I can say this as an alum. I don't think Harvard as an institution really needs 30% of that grant.
They got plenty of money.
They've got more money. I mean, they've got so much money that they
definitely have a better balance sheet than the government does.
I can tell you at the business school, they plant flowers and they rip them out, and then they plant again and then they rip. They have such a huge landscaping budget they can't spend it all. So I just think that what they're proposing now in DOGE and in the current administration is to just make the split 85-15. So there'll actually be more dollars going directly to the innovation as opposed to university administration.
Yeah, overhead costs.
Overhead, yeah. So I think I'm optimistic that it will be directed, the faucets will be turned on, and with some improvements, and hopefully in a very thoughtful way.